The numbers are lies. They turn off the lights and then all of a sudden they count the votes. That's ridiculous. Did you hear that? Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Also, the thing that got me was Karl Rove over there, who I can't stand, and I'm sure a lot of people know about Karl Rove. But Karl Rove sitting there before anything, sitting there, Mitt Romney's going to win by 14 votes. And this. How do you know all this? How does he know this? How are they? Because, listen,
his friend was the guy who's going to tell you. They've totally fucking brainwashed everybody to buy all that bullshit. Do you realize what insane lunatic in their right mind would believe a fucking... I just voted. Come on! Are
Find
you
out
crazy?
Who the companies are, like Guy Bolt
they went to Congress and said, "Can the machine be beat?" Yes.
Yeah.
Can it be manipulated? Yes.
And the only people who could see it isn't elected officials. No, it's a private company like the Federal Reserve that has the code to see what the votes are.
I just voted.
They're already telling.
Hey, guess what? I just voted for Newt Globalist Gingrich, and it goes 15 times. Boom! I just made 15 votes. That's fraud.
Where did he come from?
This is crazy, brother. But anybody who, I mean, I've been petitioning. We Are Change Connecticut. We've been petitioning. We have a lot of stuff going on. In fact, I'm going to plug the John Birch Society is coming.
Yeah, we're holding an Agenda 21 seminar on January 28th at 10:30 at the Salias Bronson Library, 267 Grand Street, right here in Waterbury,
Connecticut.
Our special guest will be Hal Shurtleff of the John Birch Society. So
right, and that's again
Waterbury.
In Waterbury, you can again get all this information from our webpage, which is wearechangect.org. Yes, the John Birch Society. We went to an Oath Keepers meeting in Southington with the police and retired military. And boy, let me tell you, people are waking up about this, and it's very important that they understand what's going on. There is a federal power grab to bring us into a world government that will be the worst horror in the world. I am not here for any other reason other than understanding and realizing and recognizing this incredible danger. You think you're worried about, I'm a dinner jacket in World War III? This is who you worry about, because they're going to create this. They're going to create the problem, and then they're going to offer the solution. The people are going to react to it. They're going to offer the solution and implement it. Yeah. It is the Hegelian dialectic over and over again. They're doing it again. Strait of Hormuz. So if you're going to blockade us, we're gonna shut off the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. Now 10,000 troops go to Israel.
Yep.
Ready for Syria. World War III is brewing, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't want to be an alarmist, because I've gotten some posts. People say, "Oh, you're a paranoid alarmist. You're scaring people like Alex Jones." And I'm like, what? Alex Jones? Come on. First of all, I don't think that anything I'm saying is alarming, and I certainly don't boast anything above and beyond the truth. I mean, that's ridiculous. But I don't care. People have everybody's opinion. This is why it's America. This is why we're doing this. I want people to call us that don't agree, but don't call me something trying to alarm somebody, trying to scare people. You know what's trying to scare people? Department of Homeland Security scaring people. Propaganda, mind control. If you see something, say something. Worry about the, be so. We're not dumb. Well, they know that the people are dumbed down, so they probably want to make sure they pay attention.
We've talked about this before. With I want to stay on Iran real quick.
Yeah, Iran.
I've pointed this out before, where I think it's real obvious that Ahmadinejad is along with the New World Order, Illuminati people. He's just a puppet. He's just a pawn. He's an Osama bin Laden. He's with them, and they're using him, and he's going to cause this war. I mean,
absolutely.
There's no way our Navy is going to allow this to happen. The Navy is going to go through there, and they're going to kick the shit out of Iran. And what normal person in Iran, if you were the leader of Iran, why would you want to do this? Why would you try to take on the American Navy and international orders? It makes no sense that a normal person who would care about his people, this isn't what you would want to do. Which I think makes it obvious that I think I'm right, that they're in on this, and this Iran is there to kill their people just like they're here to stage things for our people. This is going to happen because it's been planned out. This isn't just...
Oh, yeah, this has been written. This is the script. Yeah, they're just playing it out.
And,
They're just
like you
acting
said,
it out.
they're going into Israel and all this. They're getting ready. It's going to happen. They're not going to stop this. They're just going to make this happen.
And don't be afraid of like I said, I like calling him Mama Dinner Jacket. Don't be afraid of him. Don't be afraid of the little baby that just became a dictator in North Korea. Don't be afraid of. They don't want you to be afraid of. Listen, it's funny. Be afraid of China because that's who they really don't want you to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Although they want you to say, oh, you know, we're going to do this and this. But let me be very honest. China is building up their military. Now the propaganda comes out. Oh, look, you want to cut the military? Look, China's good. We could blow up the earth 64,000 times over, okay? We don't need all of this stuff, but everybody believes it. I got into a couple of heated debates with a few people over this matter about, this is not, if we closed 800 of the 1,200 bases around the world, you really think that our interests are going to be at stake? Let the corporations use the governments that they're in the countries selling their products and using their workforce, okay? Taking jobs away from Americans. Let that country protect the government interests. Let them protect the government instead of America protecting the corporate interests in countries like Iran, countries like Iraq, countries like China. All right?
So we could have a McDonald's in China.
Fuck McDonald's. Think about it. Think about it, everybody. So everybody that demonizes Ron Paul and calls him a nut doesn't realize that much about is that foreign policy is brilliant. We cause these problems. We implement them. We create the problem by being there.
And it's not the rich people's money, it's the taxpayers' money.
Exactly.
All of us suckers.
Oh, it makes me so angry, Vinny.
Not the lower class either. It's the middle class that pays for everything. Everything is on us. The people that try to do the right thing, the people who don't want to hand out, the people who want to go work and try to support their family, they're taking all of our money to go fight.
Right, paying $4 gasoline.
They're not taking the Queen's gold to go fight these wars. They take the taxpayers.
Absolutely right, man. You know, I'm getting blue again. I know when that happens, man. Sometimes I get to, like I said, a couple of shows, it's just like...
Well, this Iran stuff is really getting me mad, because now, you know, people are going to be getting killed soon.
Oh, yeah. And war is again on the horizon. And I'm not an alarmist, okay? I'm not being an alarmist. I'm being a realist. It's reality. Like, the dollar is dead. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do, if they're going to take people's gold or what they're going to do, but we are bankrupt. It's just, they're just holding back the hammer a little bit. You know, that's it.
Well, just like Iran,
it just hasn't come down yet.
This is planned. They already have the date.
Oh, they have that. They know the date. Oh, yeah. That's why, you know.
December 21st, 2012.
You know, I would, this is truthfully why I would imagine, yeah, it is. It really is. I believe the number might be 12/21/2012.
Yeah, it's going to be the end of the Federal Reserve.
The end of the Federal Reserve is when
our
money system's going to change, and everybody's going to jump on it because they're going to find that if they don't, well, I don't know. What are the banks going to do?
Oh, man. Well,
oh, man. All right. So that we should, since we're talking about banks, since we're talking about banks, here are the 34 shocking facts about the U.S. debt that should set America on fire with anger, as if we're not angry enough. Basically, here's number one. During fiscal year 2011, the U.S. government spent $3.7 trillion, but it only brought in $2.4 trillion. Okay, so do the math. If this was your household, and let's break this down into real, sort of like actual median income numbers, instead of $3.7 trillion, you are spending $37,000 a year, but you're only earning $24,000 a year. Unfortunately, many Americans are in this situation. Many of these Americans have lost their homes. Many of these Americans are on the social service system. Many of these Americans are of the 40 million that are receiving food stamps, and are in pretty bad shape. But what happens to us now as a country? 3.7 trillion, same ratio. So imagine you're spending $37,000. Would you be spending $37,000 you did not have, going further and further into debt, if you were only making $24,000 a year? Or would you cut your standard of living down? Maybe if you had 2 cars, go down to 1 car, or what every American is doing. So why shouldn't the government do the same? That's number one. Number 2, when Ronald Reagan took office, the U.S. national debt was less than $1 trillion, and today it's over 15.2 trillion. It's really 16.5 trillion, ladies and gentlemen, because they got to swipe the pen again pretty soon. Credit card, the government credit card, I should say, is coming through. And
always the last year for the president, they like to get most, like the worst stuff happens always the last year.
Yeah.
You know, they'll start letting people out of jail, or, you know, Clinton did a lot of that.
That's true.
So you could imagine the worst stuff is going to be coming now, because Obama, you know, it's last year.
Well, we'll see.
The worst stuff is going to happen this year.
Well, there is threat of the October surprise, which is what the insiders like Ken Fromm, who passed away, who was from
Atlantic Richfield,
which is a Rockefeller company. Since we're talking about Rockefeller just for a second, I don't want to digress, but we're going through this list. But yeah, I mean, he has information from the elite. They're planning the wars and inside information. He passed, and recently, and Lindsey Williams had this information and gave out that there's an October surprise planned. What that means, it could be war, a terrorist attack, something's going to happen in October. That's the goal. That's the globalist goal. And when they do this, when these things are, they're literally set in stone generally.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, they set it in stone, so you'll see something happen. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be something. So keep your eyes out in October. All right, during 2011, the U.S. debt surpassed 100% of the GDP for the first time ever. So, wow, our debt is more than our GDP. Does this sound like certain countries that, you know, like we could think of that are in this situation now?
Well, everybody now.
Greece.
Everybody's in debt to the
Everybody. They totally enslaved the whole world. And people are just, oh, but what can we do? You know, we bought onto these fraudulent derivative debts. I mean...
Get rid of centralized banks.
Yeah, that's very easy. The answer is so simple. But it was just, you know, they can never take a haircut at all, ladies and gentlemen. They must make profit. They cannot lose. Mm-hmm. Even when you see them lose and they get fined $50 billion or whatever they get, or like when Wells Fargo and Wachovia, they got caught laundering drugs. They get a $379 billion of laundered drug money. They get a fine of $160 million. Come on. You know, even these big, these tremendous. What do they do then? Then they raise your rates.
Yeah, they're not going to lose.
They're not going to lose. But you know, a true president or a good legislator that get out there and say, no, we're going to fine you. And guess what? You cannot raise your rates to incur the loss on this fine. They can do that too, ladies and gentlemen, but they never do.
No, we're for bailouts.
Just that only happens to people. They only do that to people, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, anyway, so not corporations, not banks. So that was number 3. So number 4, according to Wikipedia, which is like, you know, you got to wonder about all the information in there. Some of it's a little subjective. The monetary base consists of coins, paper money, both as bank vault cash and as currency circulating in the public, and commercial bank reserves with the central bank. Currently, the U.S. monetary base is sitting somewhere around $2.7 trillion. So if you went out and gathered all that money up, it would only make a small dent in our national debt. So if you could imagine, all the money in the goddamn country adds up to $2.7 trillion.
That's why the number.
We owe $16 trillion.
It's impossible to pay off.
It's impossible. It really is. And it's fraudulent because of all of this credit default swaps in the mortgage market, the Bank of America criminals with their mortgage fraud. You know, they report all this, but nothing happens. They bail these people out after they steal people's homes. Yeah. I just can't even. I mean,
I get so disgusting.
It's disgusting. You crush AIG, or the world will come to an end because they're so intertwined with everybody's. Well, that's the new world order. They want it that way. They like it that way because they control you. Because do you want to be in fucking be in the dark ages again? Well, you're going to either be brought to the dark ages by them leading you, or if you don't, you know, the implosion of this economy is going to lead us there anyway. So we have to realize that this debt is fraudulent and it's not payable. This $15 trillion is not real.
No, there's no way to pay it off.
It's not, but it's not real. What about the derivatives? $1.5 quadrillion. You can't pay that off. That's 1,500 trillion.
The numbers.
It's almost laughable because then the people are like, that's not real.